It's been a long several months, a long summer. We've had our break, but we are back. Film don't lie. NFL show is back on A2D radio. We're back for I guess we had like a half season because we started in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is season 1.5, but we are entering the 2025 NFL season. And with that, we are returning as well. It's your boy Chucks. It's Pete. Brother, it's been a minute since I've done a show with you. It's been a while.
It has been a significant time frame since I have been on a show talking football. I've been still here with A2D and the presence, more on the wrestling side of things. So yeah, it's just like riding a bike, right? So they say. So new season, defending champion. You can see it behind me. There is one flag back there.
Mm-hmm.
Still going to bleed green. But tonight should be a very interesting show. We have a couple familiar faces joining us as we get in our kickoff FDL for the year. I'm excited to get to it.
I'm so excited. Our predictions, this goes back to like the birds of a feather days when we do our predictions. So it'll be good to do this. Before we get into that, of course, we've got some housekeeping to do with our sponsor, Alonzi Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, including yours truly, me, create a custom vacation for you. We've got some awesome like deals and big news coming out for Disney and Universal and Disney Cruise Line. So I'm telling you, if there's anywhere from Disney and Universal or anywhere, I don't just do Disney and Universal now. I do other destinations. So if there's anything you guys are looking to do with you or with the family, or if you're you and a significant other, let me know. Hit me up, and I will be glad to help you and see what I can do for you. But alas, let's get into this. Let's introduce our guests today. We haven't had them on yet, and we've had a lot of guests on so far, but I figured bringing these guys on would be so much fun for this show since we're doing NFL predictions.
Mm-hmm.
And for predictions, anything goes. Anything goes. Usually the most outlandish takes are the funnest things to talk about, and these two definitely can bring some outlandish takes. So I'm going to bring on my co-host over at Eagles Talk. It's PY and it's Brinks. Gentlemen, what is up? Good to have you on. What's going on, guys?
I'm just ready to geek out, talk about the whole league. This is why I joined this platform. This is what my bread and butter is. I mean, we love talking about the Philly teams, but, there's a whole world out there. There's a whole world out there. And it's not flat.
That's typical.
Keep your shit in the corner.
PY is your typical Homer fan, and I love
I'm not a Homer.
Yeah, okay. We know.
The world is bigger beyond the city and area.
I agree with that.
Oh my God. But this will be a lot of fun. Guys, thank you for coming on. I know we didn't have Eagles Talk this week because of Labor Day. But we would have done NFL predictions anyway on Eagles Talk. So exactly. I figured, hey, let's just do a joint show. Let's get all four of us on and let's have a discussion and say how each of us are stupid and going to be wrong with
when you just Can I just say this? It's not a discussion when you just yell at us for saying we're wrong, okay?
Well, I've made this clear. When it comes to my predictions, I've been wrong on so much stuff. So like I always preface this by saying my inevitably incorrect predictions for the NFL season because I know a lot of it's going to be so off. So it's the only thing I probably got right last year was Saquon. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, let's get into it because we have a lot to cover. So I don't want this to go 2.5 hours, obviously. But we went through the whole spiel of how we're going to approach this, and we're going to do all of our predictions. We're going to start with all of the divisions in the NFC, and of course, we have to kick it off with the NFC East. Okay, our bread and butter here. So let's talk about what we think is how it's going to play out. So, PY, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll go around the horn. We'll go to Brinks, and then P, and then me. So, how do you see this?
I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think the Eagles are going to, win the division. Like, I think the Commanders are gonna kind of continue where they were last year, but I think they're still gonna take a step back. Like, they're gonna show that like they're not the same old Commanders. Jaden Daniels is good. Maybe he hits the sophomore slump, but like even with that, even if their team is old as dirt, I still think they're gonna be a pretty good team. The Cowboys are gonna be trash. Like, they are not gonna be good. Like, Dak is gonna probably get hurt again. Their defense isn't going to do anything. Jerry's going to
lose them.
To home Wi-Fi, that's what happens.
Oh my God. Okay, so he's frozen. We'll see when we get him back. But Brinks, so let's move on to you while we wait for PY to get reconnected. 1 to 4, how do you see this?
I mean, it's been 21 years since there's been a repeat winner in the NFC East. I think enough's enough. Like, we're gonna have a repeat winner. It's gonna be the Eagles. Like I'm pretty lockstep in that. Second place, I have the New York Football Giants finishing second.
Oh, okay.
Have you been drinking?
No comment, but I have the New York Giants finishing second.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be tough sledding for the Commanders this year. I do have them finishing third. They are the hunted, not the hunter this year. They are also the oldest football team in the league by a country mile. So, I mean, I think that I think they're going to struggle with that. Yeah. I think they were only in the NFC Championship game last year because they caught Detroit sleeping. So the jury's still out on that. I need to see Jaden do it again. If Jaden does it again, yeah, and then I have Dallas. I have Dallas last. Even though I do think Dallas is going to win. You know, they won 7 last year with Dak on the shelf for much of the season. I think scoring points is not going to be a problem for Dallas. Like, they have no pass rush. Mm-hmm. Their defense is not good, and they don't have a good offensive line. So that's how I have it.
I would say, low-key, not having an offensive line is more detrimental than losing. Micah is an all-world player. We may hear his name later on in the show when we talk about our season awards. But Matt Eberflus is there now, probably in his true designated role as a coordinator, not a head coach. You can see what they can do on defense, but I do think that the Cowboys and the Giants will be fighting it out for the basement. I do have the Commanders in the second place position. Eagles taking the poll first time in 21 years, going back-to-back. The last team to do back-to-back in the NFC East 21 years ago was the Philadelphia Eagles, so familiar territory there. I think with Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn, I think tape is now out. And what we can see, you're not going to be catching teams off guard outside of just the Lions. Their whatever their conversion percentage was on fourth down last year when they were living by that, can't do that again. Maybe if they can stay healthy, they may be able to do something. I have them as a potential wild card team. I don't say the Eagles just. It's hard to say that the Eagles don't run away with the division, but when you do have the best team in football, and that's just not Homer saying it, that's pundits all over the league, East Coast, West Coast, people that cover football overseas, people that cover football in Australia. When you look at the team, not the individual player who gets paid the most money to quarterback, when you look at the team as a whole, one of the best built teams, and now they're being compared to 95 Cowboys when you talk about offensive line groups. Some concerns with the Eagles as well. Maybe if they were in a different division, wouldn't be as confident. We got to replace the pass rush that we lost. We got to see where that production comes from. But there's also going to be strengths. I mean, it's harder to say that because of last year how our linebacker play was Zach Vaughn. But now I think you're going to have people to complement Zach and play almost just to the same or higher level than what he played to. And we got to kind of see what the city. But there's nobody in the NFC East. I'll say that now. Nobody in the NFC East that jeopardizes the Eagles from going back-to-back outside of injuries. So, yeah, we want to keep those away.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's really it is not the Homer thing to say that this is the Eagles' division to lose. Because you just look at it, defending this, returning 2024 Super Bowl champs, and they bring back most of the offense, a good chunk of the defense. I know a lot of people are going to say that we lost a lot of pieces. We lost pieces that made sense to lose for the most part. I think you can argue maybe Isaiah Rodgers we could have called on to, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but you have young players waiting in the wings regardless. So you have people that are being given the opportunity to step up, and for the most part, this team is coming back. The core is still there. So absolutely, the Eagles' division to lose. I think there's not much to say about that. When it comes to the rest of the division, but pre-Micah trade, I had the Cowboys at 2. Post-Micah trade, I have the Cowboys last. I think with that trade, the vibes are just so bad. And you look at their defense without Micah, who is elite, and how much he influenced that defense with him on the field, how much better he made everyone else around him. Without him, that defense is really, really bad. Now, I think that on the offensive side of the ball, the Cowboys do have something with Dak, CD,
Pickens, Lamb.
That's going to be a really good trio. I think their passing attack is going to be really good. The rush attack is highly questionable.
Yes.
I mean, it was they had Rico Dowdle as their best and lead back last year. Yep. When you lose him and then you go to Javonte Williams, who I was a huge fan of coming out, but when he had that injury his rookie year, that really took away like a lot of his juice. He just hasn't been the same since. And it's really sad to see, but that's just the truth. He's not what I had projected to be because he just doesn't have it anymore. So him as your lead back, and then you have just a bunch of other guys like Miles is there after a really, really bad tenure in Carolina. Jaden Blue, who I know was a pre-draft favorite for Eagles fans simply because he was our only running back visit.
Yeah.
Jaden Blue doesn't really impress me. There's a lot of question marks at running back. I don't see if your defense is going to be that bad, you need a ground game to complement it, and they don't have it. So I see a lot of games where the Cowboys are just going to have to pass a lot, and I don't think that's going to hold up. I think I'm going to put them last because when you look at their rosters, you said, tell me, Brinks, I don't think you're that crazy for putting the Giants at 2 when you're looking at it now. Because if you compare the Cowboys roster to the Giants roster, up and down, the Giants actually have the better roster, I'm willing to say. I think
listen, the Giants are going to be able to get after the quarterback. They have Abdul Carter, they have Brian Burns, they have Thibodeau, and they have Dexter Lawrence in the center of that line. Yeah. If you get after the quarterback, I'm not gonna go back on a timeline because I did my research. If you get after the quarterback and you're top 5 in sacks in the league, which I think the Giants are going to be, you make the playoffs. Yeah. Last year, 4 of those 5 teams made the playoffs. The only one that didn't was the Dallas Cowboys, and you can put an asterisk next to that because Dak didn't play all that much.
Yeah.
So
Dak didn't play all that much, and then the person that was contributing to those sacks, and Micah is not there.
He's not there.
I will say, just to kind of put a bow on the NFC East, is every team in the division outside of the Cowboys has some sort of underlying upward progression, right? Can the Commanders do it again? If we're doing a story, can the Commanders do it again? Can they keep hot? The Giants, like we just said, they're building something, right? Like if you think about it, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, that's all number 1 picks. There's no other team in the league that can say that every part of their defensive line are first-round picks, right? So now Dexter Lawrence is again double team. He may have to play him single. Right, so there's going to be a lot of one-on-one matches. Remember what Jalen Carter did for us before Jalen Carter. Remember what Fletcher Cox in his prime did for us in the outside edge rushers, right? And obviously, clearly, the Eagles are trying to compete and go back to the Super Bowl again. Hell, Sirianni said our team is not going to be on the field when the banner gets raised. I don't want to see that. So that's the type of culture. So I would say that is the 7-letter word that I look at the NFC East right now. Culture, right? We talked about the passing attack of the Cowboys. But a move like this with Micah is unprecedented.
There's no culture there.
Oh my God!
Jerry is the culture. That is the culture that Dallas.
And that's the biggest thing. It's like, what does this now do to the psyche of the rest of the team?
They're checked. Like, if you listen to Trayvon Diggs, they asked him, "Are you playing on Thursday?" I don't know, but I'll be back by week 4. Like, if you're one of his teammates, aren't you just like checked out at the start of the season? Because one of my best defensive players literally can't give me a timeline.
It's but the message that is sent to the other 52 players on the team is like,
whatever.
I get drafted, I bust my ass for you, undervalue, become one of the top elite players in the league. And all I ask is, yes, I'm willing to stay and willing to work out there, but go through the appropriate channels and work with my agent, and that's not good enough. Now I ended up being happy because now I got 120 plus million guaranteed on a contender now, and you got undervalued resources back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like what message does it send Dak? What message does it send CD? I don't know, man. That's tough. That's the hard part to be a part of that organization right now, to support that organization in any fashion from the standpoint of, is this organization really trying to succeed? Yeah. Is the goal to be successful? Is the goal to win football games? Is the goal to play late in January, possibly in February? I don't think you can say that for every other team in the NFC East, regardless of the talent on the roster. I think that is the goal. They want to build something where I feel like Dallas is trying to tear it down, and that's the Pickens trade was good. I like that trade. That was a high reward, low risk trade, and you had so you had something, and then now like this had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like they're not going to just blow it all up. I mean, Dak's contract is pretty much damn near untradeable.
But that's Jerry in a nutshell running the Cowboys. He's always been 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Oh my God, I'm all in this season. And he does the only things he does is like in-season trades to get a few guys.
Right.
Yeah.
They broke the bank for Deron Bland yesterday.
Yeah, Deron Bland. Yeah, I will say this too, as we wrap up the NFC East, is that with the Commanders, I put them at 2. Out of respect, because I do think Jaden Daniels is a stud, and what they did last year was, I think I'm willing to give them some benefit of the doubt. The coaching, they did really well. Cliff Kingsbury, really impressed me and proved me wrong. He did not collapse in the second half of the season like he usually does in his career, so that's great. Let's see if they can hold up. Let's see if they can, now that I think you said it, now they're becoming the hunted, right? And it's not only that, there's a lot of regression to the mean that we can kind of expect, right? A lot of their wins last year, the Hail Mary, for example, were last second one-score games. And a lot of times, and we've seen in history, like the Vikings from a couple years ago, when you have a lot of the wins like that, it's toss-ups. So there's a lot of like regression to the mean, or like things where it can bounce the other way for the Commanders. And if they don't get as many lucky bounces or stuff going their way this year, that could make a big difference. Plus, they're relying on a lot of old players, and usually that does not bode well for teams when you're expecting huge contributions from huge veterans like that. So it's really bad if you're going to really expect that from them. So I put them at 2, but Brinks, this is why I don't think you're crazy, because if the Giants defense becomes one of the better units in the league, and if they start, and I'll say this, if Jackson Dart looks like he did in the preseason and they give him the reins early enough in the year, I can see them being feisty enough to where they somehow get second. I don't think it's impossible to see that scenario, because again,
I think he starts their home opener in week 3 against Kansas City at the Meadowlands in prime time.
That is very early, but I think
there's zero chance of that happening.
I think it's
I think he gives them the best chance to win.
But here's the thing: like, if they were so concerned with that, they would. Gino wouldn't be. I mean, not Gino. There would be no Jameis and there would be no Russ. Like they would go all in.
Forget about Jameis. Forget about him.
They already.
I'm surprised they didn't trade him.
They already did put. I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but they already did put Jackson Dart as the backup QB on their depth chart ahead of Jameis. Again,
maybe it's not week 3. Maybe I'm just being a little goofy on the show here, but he's coming. He's going to play.
Sure.
I think he would be.
I think he could start later on in the season. I just think week 3 is way too early. Like, there's no way Russ would have to play so bad. Like, Russ would have to look like Chase Daniel out there for 3 weeks for them to sit him.
I think it's also
the football gods are a fickle bunch. If Jackson Dart is
look at their schedule. They've got a rough schedule.
For the Giants?
The Giants.
Well,
very tough schedule. So if it goes 0-4 real quick for them, which is possible, you might have to look at the rookie.
I think the defense is going to be too good for that, and the defense is going to be good enough to the point to where it's going to keep them in games to where they can probably sneak out a couple of games where they can score 22 to 25 points, 26 points.
Possible.
And the entire NFC East got owned on the schedule.
Yeah.
Entire NFC East. The NFC East plays the NFC North, who had 3 playoff teams, and the AFC West, who had 3 playoff teams. So it's just one of those things. It's a tough draw. Yeah. And every team in the division is going to have to deal with it.
Yep. All right. So as you guys know, as always, I have my spreadsheet handy. So I have. Yeah. So I have again the NFC East playing out Eagles, Commanders, Giants, Cowboys. Pete, how did you have yours?
So I had Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants, Cowboys.
So same as me. PY, how did you have? You had Eagles,
Commanders, Cowboys, Giants.
Cowboys, Giants. Cool. And then Brinks, you had Eagles, Giants,
Commanders, Cowboys.
Commanders, and then Cowboys. Okay, so that's how our NFC East shakes out. Okay, I mean, I think in general, it's not that many disagreements. So, going on that. So that is the NFC East as we come. I won't leave this up the whole time. But I'll continue as we go along. I'll continue to add. All right, so NFC North, okay, tough division. I will say that probably the second toughest for me to really plan out. All right, so I'm gonna say it like this. I'll lead off this time. NFC North, I had. You ready for it? I have the Packers winning it. I have the Packers at 1. All right. Packers 1. At 2, I have the Lions. At 3, the Bears, and 4, the Vikings.
Chucks, we're brothers.
You have the same exact thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the Lions, and then Lions. What's the Lions? Bears, right? And then Vikings. Okay, and you have the same thing. Brinks. How did you have it?
Yeah, obviously Micah puts the Packers over the top in this division. I do have the Vikings second. I don't think they're going to skip that much. Yeah,
so you had the Packers too. You had the Packers at 1.
I do. Now
okay.
Micah.
All right.
I was ready to pick the Vikings to win this division before Micah.
Okay, and then who do you have at 3?
The Lions. And then the Bears, they're just one of these teams that just never gets it right, and they're all over the 4 major sports. Caleb Williams, I told you he was going to be a bust when he came out, and he's done nothing.
You can't call him a bust this early. That's crazy.
Well, he's sticking to his pride, and that's fine, but I don't think
he stinks.
Prove your feelings.
Prove me wrong. Go out.
Prove me wrong. He's played 1 season in the NFL.
Nah, you hit the ground running in this league. You hit the ground running in this league, or it stands for not for long.
Josh Allen didn't hit the ground running. Josh Allen took a while. Lamar didn't.
That's his ruler. So only time will tell.
It was just him running the football.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Caleb.
Like bread and butters. Oh my God! Look at Josh Allen run with the football. Woohoo!
He said prove me wrong, so Caleb the jury is still out. But for him right now in this time, he feels as if Caleb is a bust.
I'm out.
I understand it because the Bears, they have to prove it. I can completely understand the notion of I need to see it before I believe it, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not ready to say Caleb is a bust. I think Caleb is one of those quarterbacks that has gotten a lot more hate for unreasonable reasons, and I don't understand why. And he didn't even have that bad of a season last year, yet people act like it was horrible.
Right. What's tough for him is the teams in his division have gotten better. No one's really taken a step since he's been a Chicago Bear. Teams haven't taken steps back; they've taken steps forward. And a step forward for the Bears this offseason compared to last year was Ben Johnson. So hopefully that can give him some stability in the head coach, and then maybe not this year, maybe next year. Because right now, for me, even if I'm not mistaken, the Lions coordinators were both internal hires, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going. I still think it's the Lions division to lose because yes, I understand Mike is down Green Bay, but guess who's coming back for Detroit? Aiden.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the Lions still doing it.
Right.
I felt guilty putting them at 2,
right.
But so I don't mind it. So you have Lions at 1.
Lions at 1. They learned a hard lesson last year in the division round. Can't sleep on anybody.
Yeah.
I got the Packers at 2.
Packers at 2. Okay.
Vikings at 3 and Bears at 4. I just think I really truly think this is, if not the toughest division in football, it's 1B to the toughest division in football.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And I think that every team in this division can have a winning record.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Honestly, I can easily foresee 3 teams out of this division making the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. I think that with, it's I feel bad putting the Vikings at 4. They have such a stacked roster, but similar to like Brinks' mindset of like I need to see it first. Like I kind of need to see JJ McCarthy.
And that's why, honestly, y'all who put the Packers first, right? For y'all to put the Packers first, I need to see it for Jordan Love consistently.
I don't trust Jordan Love one bit.
But the thing is with the Packers, like with the Jordan Love, at least we have seen him and the highs, right? We've seen him when he's on and how good he can be when he's on.
Yeah.
And he did it in the playoffs, so it's not like he's choked in the.
No, I'm not saying that, but I don't want that to discount from what Detroit now had. Detroit used to just be good and on the cusp last year this time. Mm-hmm. Detroit now has a purpose.
Yeah. Yep.
They have a purpose. They have an underlying reason for being this season, right? The Eagles had it at the Super Bowl 57. The field was trash. They had that taste in their mouth. They got embarrassed. I don't say embarrassed, but there was one point in that game in that divisional round in January where they were getting embarrassed. Now you have all offseason, and you get your stud defensive player back, and you get Brian Branch healthy. I mean, it's just like how much better if you really line up the Packers and the Lions. And here's the other key thing. I don't think the Packers' offensive line is as good as the Lions' offensive line. They're not. So it's like, where do you give the Packers the edge? Because if it's any team that can be able to handle Micah as well as we handle Micah, it's the Lions.
So what I will reply to that is with the Packers, I think it's hard to find a glaring weakness. Like, I don't think their offensive line is like elite or like that, but I think their offensive line, even with the changes, is still like middle of the road, right? I think their secondary, like the corners and they have McKinney. I think the secondary is very solid. I think their defensive line now with Micah is going to be one of the best.
Micah and Rashawn Gary is going to be scary.
So like they're stacked now but their issue was they had so many good players, but there weren't a lot of like marquee guys, right? With Micah there, now everyone on the defense kind of slides over to amazing role, like really good roles. And Jeff Hafley did a really good job of what he had last year. And with him coming back, that defense should only improve in terms of continuity. With the offensive side, what were they missing? They were missing a marquee wide receiver. I like Matthew Golden. I think he can be maybe a lower end wide receiver one, but I think he has that type of potential. So if he becomes your wide receiver one, your top target, right? And then Jaden Reed becomes your wide receiver two, who's so underrated.
They have to move him around. They can't keep penciling him just in the slot.
I know. They do. I really hope they play him more in 2 wide receiver sets.
Right.
But that's the whole other argument. But there are other a name that not a lot of people are mentioning. It's out of a few circles. Is Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is on the brink of being an elite tight end in this league. He could arguably be their most talented skill position player by season end. So that's the thing with Green Bay. I just think that with Micah there now for the defensive side and the addition of Matthew Golden, those 2 names having that, I know we have to see it first for Golden, but those 2 names could be the difference in getting them over the hump to where now they have enough marquee names. You have a healthy Jordan Love. If he can be more consistent, that can be the difference. So but it's close. It is so it is very, very close. With the Bears, I think they're going to have their struggles early on. It's going to be a growing process.
It's a building process. It's a building.
I think by season's end, by the last 1 or 2 months of the season, they're going to be very, very tough to beat. I think that's when they're going to start clicking, and they're going to be a very, very tough.
I don't think anybody's going to play them in December, because by that time you're going to have Rome. I think his second year. I think Luther Burden is a sleeper, and then just the trust that Caleb and Ben, if that connection, if they can hit.
So far, it's been a good relationship. Caleb likes the hard coaching that he's been getting from Ben Johnson. So I really like that. And I think that I had to mention my guy, Kyle Monangai has really impressed. It looks like he's overtaking Roshan Johnson already to be that RB2 behind Swift. And if we know how Swift has been in terms of durability, reliability, if they're going to need a grinder, some type of running back who can be the Montgomery role for the Bears, Monangai is going to be that guy. So it's just a lot of good things for the Bears. I think it's just going to be a learning process. That's why I put them third. So yeah, BY brings any other thoughts on the NFC North?
I mean, I'm just going to throw shade at the Lions here real quick. I've read this book before. Gut-wrenching playoff loss. Lose both your coordinators. Next season doesn't really go as you think it's going to go. So that's the only shade I'm going to throw at the Lions. That's why I have them third.
I hear that, and it's that goes back to that quote that Dan Campbell had after the one playoff loss, where he just told the team you don't know when you'll be back. You just don't know. So
they totally blew that.
They blew that. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, they were decimated with injuries. Yeah. They were so decimated with injuries. So I think it's more I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that Goff didn't play well and everything like that, but at the same time, I think it's the straw kind of just broke. You know what I mean? They had they
lost the war of attrition at a certain point, and generally the next season, you may have some injuries with that. You don't have them like that.
Exactly. So it's tough, but we'll see. I put them at 2, and I feel bad about it, but this division is wide open. I could see a realm where I can see a scenario where the Vikings win the division if JJ McCarthy. We talk about talented rosters. You could argue outside of the quarterback, the Vikings might have the most talented roster in the division. It's just that we don't know about JJ McCarthy. So, wide open division. I'm really excited to see how that turns out. NFC South, going from a heated and entertaining division to probably one of the more boring ones. So.
I won't say that.
Okay. All right. Let's see what you think about
these divisions are. I think there's going to be some shockers.
Then you lead off, Pete. How do you have the NFC South playing out?
I mean, I think it's Tampa Bay. Tampa at 1.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if the Falcons win the division.
Okay. So do you have the Falcons at 2 then?
The Falcons. I'm just higher on Penix than most.
I like Penix. He played well again. 3.
Panthers.
Yes. Okay. I was about to say. Don't you dare put the Saints.
New Orleans is the Dallas of the South.
You can't put the Aints anywhere other than 4.
Oh my God. Brings, how do you have the NFC South playing out?
Yeah, I mean, this is so interesting because I think that this is the worst division in the NFC, but they have the biggest threat to the Eagles in their division.
Do they? Do they?
I believe they do. I think this team is ready to roll in Tampa.
Okay, so
then I have Carolina finishing second. They're going to score.
Oh, okay, nice.
Underrated. They have an underrated offensive line, I think, which is getting not talked about as much. I have Atlanta. Atlanta's the breakout every year. Every year it's Atlanta. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan the stud.
Kyle Pitts season. Just watch.
Yeah, I'm not go show me. Just like Caleb, go show me Atlanta because they haven't done nothing since they blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. And then the Saints. God bless Kellen Moore. He's in for a rough one. I don't think there's any debating that.
PY, how do you have it?
So I got Bucks, Panthers, Falcons, and then Saints. I'm buying into Bryce Young. I'm buying into him. I think he's going to be so good. Like he showed you last year. Especially in that Eagles game. That was his. They were about to win that game. If he doesn't drop it or hold on to the ball more properly, they win that game.
So
who was that? Leggett? Was that Leggett?
Yeah, Leggett. That was Leggett.
It was Leggett. Right? Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Because everyone's like, "Oh my God, I just threw a 60-yard bomb. The game's gonna be over." And
I thought it was over. I thought that was a touchdown.
Yeah,
so I
hit the turf, bro. That's all that matters. But that confidence is back, and he's starting to believe in himself like he did at Alabama. I think he could be really good. I think
to piggyback off what people are saying, I think Bryce realized that he has the skill set to do it. Yeah. He had to believe it in himself. And then now when you add, I can't even say his first name, when you add McMillan to the mix, and the second year under the coach, things like that stability goes a long way. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Falcons and the Panthers are definitely going to be battling out for 2. The only thing that can really stop Tampa is Tampa.
Yeah,
that's really the only thing that can stop them. The only thing that can stop them is them. And it's now, what do we do now? We're this high play, Baker's not catching anybody off guard anymore. The secret's out. We see it. You're good. How do you handle this pressure? Right, Mike Evans is now a year older. Chris Godwin coming back from his dislocated ankle injury. We all have high hopes for Bucky Irvin. Emeka Egbuka, where is he going to be?
Studs.
So
they're both studs.
Yeah. They have a lot. So the one question I have about the Bucks is with Liam Cohen gone, can they do it 3 years in a row? Where they
replacing the OC again?
Replacing OC and they don't miss a beat. Should I be giving what's the coach's name? Why am I drawing a blank?
I forgot. Who's their OC?
What is his name? Oh my God! What is the head coach's name?
Todd Bowles.
Bowles. Sorry, I had a blank. Sorry. Maybe I should be giving Todd Bowles the benefit of the doubt because he's been doing it, but I do have concerns because Liam Cohen did magical stuff with that offense last year. His play calling and his designs were insane. His screens were, I'd be watching film and be like, this is fun. This is so much fun. And so I like what the Bucks have. It's not that I'm low on the Bucks. I do have the Falcons winning the division because I do think I'm with you, Pete. I am a Michael Penix believer to an extent. I think Michael Penix can be a very solid quarterback, which is something they've been missing. And call me the running back lover again, but I think Bijan is ready to be that guy. I think Bijan is going to cement himself as the bona fide second best running back in the league behind Saquon. He is that good. He is the next guy. So
I think Drake is going to take the next step.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just focusing too much on Bijan and them having a stable quarterback, but seeing what they did with Kirk Cousins, a hobbled Kirk Cousins for most of the year, and how far they got, how close they got last year. If you have a Michael Penix who is going to be more stable, like why not?
Better arm, pocket passer.
Falcons, Bucks. I have the Panthers. I think they're going to be feisty. I do believe. I'm with PY. I do believe in Bryce Young. I think they're just a year away from being like contending for the division, but they're on the right track. I think they are definitely there. And then the Saints are the Saints. They're a laughing stock. So never going to give credit to them.
It's amazing. If Dallas didn't exist, the Saints would be the laughing stock.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't know. There's a couple bad teams.
No quarterback answer. It's
just a mess.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, I hate the Saints, so I adore.
I mean, the Aints. That's what they are.
Yeah. The only thing good, the only thing I love about the Saints are their alternate uniforms, which are awesome. Their alternate uniforms are
with the white helmet.
Yeah, and the gold.
Yeah,
I think they're amazing.
Fire.
They're amazing. They're awesome. So I will give them credit for that. Okay, so NFC West, last division of the NFC. I will say this. This was the hardest division for me to pick. I honestly think any team could win this division. This could go in any order, and I wouldn't be surprised. So if I look like an idiot the way I predict this, I would not be at all shocked. But I wouldn't be shocked if I was right. So I'm gonna go last, but let's start with Brinks. Brinks, how do you have the NFC West?
Yeah, I have the Rams. I'm not buying any of this Matt Stafford back stuff. They did the same thing last year, and they almost beat the Eagles to go to the NFC Championship game. Niners are going to bounce back. Okay. I think they're going to have a really good season. I guess I'll go to the Cardinals because I have a soft spot in my heart for Kyler Murray always.
Okay.
I'm not really sure why after last year. I went all in on him last year, and he didn't do anything what I wanted him to do. And I just don't see anything dynamic about Seattle. If anyone wants to point out where they're dynamic and prove me wrong,
I will be glad to, but I'll be glad to, but I will wait until the other two guys go. So PY, what is your order?
So obviously it's going to be the Rams. Like they're going to win. Like Stafford, I think Stafford's hurt. I just don't think he's hurt to the extent that like people have maybe made it out to be. Like I think they're still going to be really good. Like I think they're still going to be a contender because like Brink says, like there were a player or two last year from making it to the Super Bowl. Like it's all going to be dependent on Matt Stafford and his health though. Like obviously if the back is worse than we thought, like that's going to change literally everything. But I actually have the Seahawks at 2.
Okay.
I like Milroe. Like I'm excited about that. Like I'm excited.
He's not going to play this year at quarterback.
I'm excited about that whole team. Like I like the Seahawks.
Okay,
I think there's possibilities there. Like even though they traded away some guys, I think Milroe plays at a certain point. At some point,
you do.
I do. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
I don't buy into Darnold.
Okay.
He does nothing. He does nothing for me.
Okay.
Like I don't see anything with him. Like he was good last year, but you watched in that playoff game, he folded like a sack of potatoes.
Okay.
Like I think by the bye, I think Jalen Milroe is starting.
Okay. All right. I like your optimism for Milroe because I am a huge fan of Milroe too. I think you're getting a little ahead of your skis over there, but I'll rebuttal again. But 3, who do you have at 3?
So I got the Niners.
Okay.
I don't really buy into this team. Like they have nothing at wide receiver. Christian McCaffrey is coming back from injury. I still don't believe in Purdy. I think when things aren't running in perfect symmetry, he's just not that guy. Like when everything is perfect for him, he's great because you just hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey and throw it to who's open. Well, when everything is not perfect, he is not the quarterback to be able to handle those type of situations.
Okay, I need to rebuttal that too, Pete. So let me go to Pete. Let me go to Pete because there's a lot I need to get off my chest with a lot to saying here. But Pete, go ahead. Who's your one?
Who's the head coach of the Seahawks? Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
Second year, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
So, come what you want. Seattle Seahawks for the division.
Woo! Let's go.
There we go.
Let us go.
Yeah.
Because I have them in winning the division too. Let us go. Let's do this, Pete. All
so,
right.
Between Josh Jobe, I think they got the best secondary in the division probably by a landslide. Balanced defense because Mike McDonald can create it from other ways. I would say K9 can stay healthy. That's very questionable.
But if he can,
but if he can do it, is there out of state? To me, when you look at the question marks and you take health out of it, I like the Seahawks. And I think they make a statement this Sunday when they beat the 49ers. I think Purdy's going to have a good year. Still going to be 3. If they are 2, it's because, remember, they're playing a last place schedule.
That is true. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, they're playing a last place schedule. If you just look at it on paper, the Rams should win the division. But you forget Cooper's now in Seattle. I like Puka. Don't get me wrong. McVay can get him open. I like what the Cardinals have too. But at the same time, when you go out and you're big spenders in free agency, that doesn't always equate and equal to success. There's individual players I like on Arizona,
Browns,
but I don't like the team and the cohesion. I just don't see it. And I mean, something about Seattle, man. It's just
I hear you.
I can't even really say it's something tangible. But like you said, the teams in the division are so close, but they're so. I just think Seattle, I have less questions on because with the Niners, you gotta wait till Ayuk comes back. Can Christian stay healthy? Can Purdy really do it on his own? Right? The defense on the 49ers, they brought Salah back. They don't have the same ingredients in the cupboard. They cook the same meal. Cardinals. Still questions about, I won't say questions about Kyler, but some questions about Kyler, right?
Yeah.
James Conner's a year older. Who's the number 1 in on the outside in Arizona?
Well, it's Marvin, but I mean, will they use him correctly? That's the thing with the Cardinals. Are they going to actually use him correctly? That's what's.
I mean, you got McBride, you got Michael Wilson, you got. I like Trey Benson behind James Conner more. You know what I mean? But all these teams. So I don't know who the NFC West plays division wise, but I feel like Seattle and the Rams can travel anywhere. Yeah. I feel like and play and just with the Niners, I like Kyle, I love Kyle, but man, that window is closed, baby.
They are so banged up at wide receiver. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Not even funny right now. Not even.
And what is that going to do? You banged up a wide receiver, so guess what? Through the first 6 games, McCaffrey's going to average 25 carries a game. You think he can hold up? What has he done to show you he can hold up?
Yep, exactly. All right, so let me continue with that. So Seahawks first. I'll get you, Pete. You say you don't have anything tangible. I'll present something tangible, and brings you one. Flash, here it is. So the Seahawks toward the end of the year were one of the better defenses already in the league. One of the better defenses. You have another year add on to the Mike McDonald system, along with the additions on defense that they added. This is in the running for one of the teams that could end up as the best defense in the league. It's in that tier, right? With Eagles, Broncos, this could be best. You're talking about best defense in the league. Offense side of the ball. In general, I get the concern about Sam Darnold. I am not a huge Sam Darnold believer. I think it is a downgrade going from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. Absolute downgrade. 100% agree. However, we have to consider scheme. They're going from a scheme in Ryan Grubb where it really didn't make sense. Remember, the OC now is Clint Kubiak. What does Clint Kubiak run? He runs that outside zone play action scheme. Sam Darnold, that's what he ran last year with Minnesota, where they had success. Sam Darnold isn't anything to write home about, but if you're going to use him, this is the type of scheme you want to use him, and he can excel in. He's shown that. How many wins did the Vikings have in the regular season with Sam Darnold under the same type of scheme? they were one game away from winning the damn division. So it's not like Sam Darnold hasn't shown he can excel in this type of scheme. But furthermore, they drafted Gray Zabel in the first round. And if you've watched him, he has been a monster in the preseason so far and in training camp. And he is going to make a huge impact with the offensive line. And as long as those tackles can stay healthy, this offensive line is going to be so much better, not only because they will be healthy and the personnel is going to be better, but with that scheme, we know that it masks a lot of stuff in terms of pass protection. And to finally put it off, if you guys watch that clip, I had posted on Twitter, but there was a clip of on the Pivot podcast where they had JSN and who was the other one? What the guy from the former Cowboy that went over there, DeMarcus Lawrence, I think is.
Yeah, I think he's in Seattle.
Yeah. So two of them were on the Pivot, right? And they get Fred is asking JSN about like who he's excited to see to pop off this year, and they're talking about K9. They're talking about and JSN is saying he's the bread and butter of the offense. Fred Taylor is saying like he is a guy who's flying under the radar because of the market and because he hasn't been healthy. But in terms of talent, this guy is a legit talent. And I'm telling you, Pete, what you said is key. It's a big if because he's already had some foot injuries in training camp that he's dealt with. He's healthy for week 1. He's going to play. So his health is absolutely a fair question mark. But if he stays healthy for like 15 games, I'm talking about he could win the rushing title this year in this scheme. He is that type of player. He is going to be the focal point of this offense. And behind him, you have a really good back also in Zach Charbonnet. So this is not going to be a pass-first offense like it was in years prior with Geno Smith. This is a totally different type of offense now. They're relying on the run game, and they have the pieces to do it, the personnel to do it, and the defense to complement it. We talked about before how you don't have a good – with the Cowboys, right? You don't have a good run game to complement the defense. Total opposite thing with Seattle. They have the defense and the run game to complement each other. I haven't even gotten to the passing, the receiving options over at Seattle. So this is why I do think they're going to take people by surprise this year, and they're going to win in the. I think it's going to come down probably to the last game, but I do think I put them at 1 and the Rams at 2. It's funny that PY and Brink say they're not concerned about Matt Stafford's back. I am concerned about Matthew Stafford's back. Like when you've been following at first, I thought okay, like you'll be fine. But continually, the reports of him being held out of practice, the I forget what it's called, but they have like a certain machine that they have now at the facility that he has to go under treatment for on almost a daily basis to maintain that back. When you have that type of thing there, and the news out of LA is like, oh, he's walking around fine now. A good sign is him walking. He's going to have to play football for 4 months. Like
he walks very well.
This is a concern. So I want Matt Stafford to be healthy, but I disagree with you guys. I think it is absolutely a concern. And if he is not starting for you for a good chunk of the regular season, you get behind the 8 ball if you're the Rams. And this time they lucked out last year because the Seahawks choked that division lead. I don't think that happens this year. I don't think that if the Rams again are bit by injury, even if it's just with Matthew Stafford, I don't think they can make up ground this time around.
And I'm almost to the point now where I want to question, because this is his 15th year, 16th season. He was the first pick in overall draft in 2010 or 2009.
I think it was 08.
08? Okay.
I thought Matt Ryan was 08. Or were they in the same draft?
We can look it up. Matthew Stafford.
Matt Ryan didn't get first, I don't think.
He been playing for a long ass time.
2009.
What is his want to continue to play? I don't think he has anything left to prove. In my opinion, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He was validated when he won the Super Bowl. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like you said, Chuck, it's been very cloudy in the aura of the QB in LA. And I mean, They try to keep him upright. He takes one hit to the because I could have sworn before it was something with his neck, right?
Yes.
Like it's his.
That's back when they had Baker and there was legitimate talks that he wasn't going to play anymore and Baker was going to be their new quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I literally looked at their depth chart. Jimmy Garoppolo was the backup. I didn't even know he was in the league.
Yeah, he's the backup. I mean, if Matthew Stafford misses an extended period of time, I don't think the Rams can do this. And now with the Niners, I will say, I don't mean to call you out, BY. I do mean to call you out.
Yes, you do.
You saying that
it's a goddamn grin on your face.
Brock Purdy can't do it by himself kind of shows me you didn't watch him last year.
Oh my God.
I've been skeptical of Brock Purdy since he came in. Last year, he shut me up because, the Niners are bad, but the Niners only won that many games as they did because Brock Purdy played out of his mind. He took the next step in his development and became really, really good. Like the stuff he was doing, the Niners are one of the bottom feeders in the league if it weren't for what Brock Purdy was doing on a weekly basis with hobbled weapons all around him. So as much as I don't like to admit it because I don't like the Niners, Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback. He proved that last year. People just didn't pay attention because the Niners were losing, but it wasn't because of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was really good. And if you don't believe me, go look up the advanced stats. Go actually watch film, and you come back to me and let me know. But anyone that says Brock Purdy wasn't good last year or that he crumbles when he has to do a lot, did not see him play last year. Did not truly see him play last year because he really took the next step in his development and he became good. I am willing to say he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. I'm willing to say that. And I don't like saying it, but I'm willing to say that. So, PY,
I'll let you say it.
You can smirk all you want, PY, but I'm like,
I will
until you bring back the data and you show me proof. Like I'm telling you,
call them top 10.
I know you didn't watch him last year, for a fact, because of that statement. I know you.
I don't watch the Niners every week. That's a factual statement.
Okay, then you can't make that statement about Brock Purdy when you didn't watch them.
They weren't good. A large part of that has to do with the quarterback, does it not?
Wins and losses are not a QB stat. All right,
NFC
Seeding.
So you had me for a while when you said wins and losses were not a QB stat. But I think the Niners defense. I think Robert Saleh makes a difference there. I do. I think he's a good coach.
He could, because he's a good defensive coach. I 100%.
First off, he shouldn't have never. He was like 2-3 after 5 games in the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers didn't like him, so he got him fired. Like, totally got shafted there. He's going back to familiar territory in San Francisco with guys that, at least some of the guys that he's coached before. So I mean, I'm looking for their defense to supplement Brock Purdy, and
I can
they
see
finish second. It's going to be because Christian McCaffrey is good and healthy. If he's not, they're going to have problems.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners finish second. I wouldn't be surprised. I was going back and forth with Niners and Rams, but I wanted to give I look at the Rams, and if it all comes down to Stafford, if Stafford is healthy, they are 1 or 2. But I just have a question about Stafford. So, all right, playoff seeding for the NFC. Let's run through this really quick. I have the Eagles. It's Eagles, Packers. I have Eagles, Packers, Falcons, and then Seahawks. And then for my wild cards, I have Lions, Bears, and Rams. Lions, Bears, Rams. Pete, playoff seeding.
Eagles, Lions, Seahawks, Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Wild cards.
Packers, Vikings.
2 in the North. Who's going to do it? Who's going to get the last spot? You're looking at Commanders, Falcons, Rams.
Falcons.
Bijan. All right, PY.
He probably left because you made fun of him.
He's MIA.
He's MIA. All right, we'll come back to that. We'll go. Brinks.
Eagles.
I can't hear you. Did you?
Did I go out? Packers.
Yeah.
Bucks.
Sorry. So Eagles. Sorry, it was Eagles. Did he go out again? I can't hear him.
Your mic went out again, Brinks.
My mic went out?
I think he said Packers 2.
Packers 2? Okay.
Yeah.
So Eagles, Packers.
I think he said Bucks next.
Bucks. And then that would leave, what, the Rams?
Yeah.
And then wild card would be...
He's gone. He took us up.
He's PY. All right, PY's back. Let's get to PY's playoff seeding. Okay, PY. Who do you got 1 to 7 in the playoffs?
All right, so I got Eagles, Packers, Rams, Bucks, Commanders, Lions, and then Bears.
Lions and Bears, too. I think we all have, like, I don't know about Brinks, but so far we all have 3 NFC North teams in the making the playoffs. That's cool. That's really cool. All right, Brinks. All right, Brinks. Who are your wild card teams?
You got me now.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, cool. No, I want Tampa 2.
Tampa's 2.
Tampa 2. Okay.
Tampa 2.
And then
defense.
I got the Packers. The Packers 3rd.
Okay.
4th. The Niners 5th. The Vikings 6th.
Okay.
And the Giants are my 7th seed.
Wow, so they make the playoffs. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so that is our NFC seeding. Did you have you were so Briggs is the only one that doesn't have 3 NFC North teams making the playoffs. I mean, which is not I'm not saying
that's correct.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's dumb. I'm just making an observation. All right, so AFC. Good first half, NFC. AFC. Let's get this rolling. AFC East, I think is going to be pretty easy. But PY, let's start with you for the AFC East.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Brinks, let's go with you then.
This isn't so easy because I got the Patriots winning the AFC East.
Okay.
Patriots. I'm in on Drake May. I'm in on Vrabel, and I'm in on their stinky last place schedule. So let's go.
Okay, so Patriots.
I have the Bills 2nd by default. I'm sick of the Bills. I'm sick of the Bills. Like, I'm just sick of them.
You call me a Josh Allen hater.
Yeah, I'm sick. Well, he's terrific. I'm sick of watching the Bills try and play hero ball in the playoffs and failing.
So you're sick of Josh Allen.
So
no, that's the opposite of what I just said.
Yeah,
pretty much what you said.
That's
he literally said.
You're just literally what you just said.
Literally the opposite.
Yeah, you just said you're sick of watching the Bills play hero ball in the playoffs. So
that has nothing to do with Josh
Allen. Allen's the hero. Terrific. You might win MVP again.
Yeah, he's saying that he's sick of seeing them always rely on Josh Allen to do everything in the playoffs.
Yeah, so
send help.
Watching Josh Allen.
They just suck. They just suck. The Bills just suck. They always blow it. They lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
Look, like I told my dad once.
The next
God
time they
hates the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'm sick of them.
Briggs, who's your 3?
Even though I just specified why I hate them, and Josh Allen was not a reason. If you want to call me Josh Allen, knock yourself out. I don't care. And then the Jets, and then I think Mike McDaniels is the first coach fired this year.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. PY, you ready for yours?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
I still have the Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and then Jets.
Wow, so you got the Dolphins. Yeah, okay. Pete.
I have the Dolphins finishing last.
Okay, that's obvious. The vibes are so bad. Like it looks.
Yes.
It's so bad. Why do you have them 3rd then?
I don't love the Dolphins, but I don't love them as the last place team. The Jets also have like the worst quarterback in the division. That's also why.
That's a fair statement. That's fine.
I am going Jets third.
Okay, you're going opposite. You're going to throw me off for a loop. Jets third.
Patriots second. Okay. Bills first.
I was about to say, are you really like debating this? Like, which is fine if you were. I was just like, is the tough point you trying to figure out Bills or Patriots? That's
yes.
what I was wondering.
No, it was Patriots Jets. Really, I didn't know what.
Okay, gotcha. I have Bills, then Patriots, then Jets and Dolphins. I'm with Brinks. I think the Dolphins are just going to be a dumpster fire. They could be one of like they could be the worst team in the league. I think it's going to be so bad. It's so bad for them. There's not much I can say. I mean, like the Patriots are the most interesting team in this division. I agree with Brinks again. Like I believe in Drake May. Trayvon Henderson is going to be really good. I like what they're building there. I'm in on Vrabel, so I agree with what Brink said about the Patriots, and I think would it surprise me if they win the division? No, I don't. I think mildly surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'll say it that way. Yeah. Anything else about the AFC East?
Would anything shock you in the NFL these days? Like,
I think if the Eagles ended up as one of the
playoffs,
the league, that would shock me. Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. When we get into some of these AFC divisions, like, would anything really shock you? Like,
no,
I'm
trying to think of I mean, it would have to be outlandish.
I get it. Like, if the Ravens have the first pick in the draft next spring, like,
yeah,
I'll be shocked.
That would shock me.
I hear you. But it's not like a realistic. I see what you're saying. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But all right, let's go to the AFC North, which is another one that's just like, all right.
It's a team and everybody else.
Yeah. So I'll start off this one. AFC North. Yeah. Okay. So I have Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and Browns. Pete.
Ravens.
Okay.
Steelers, Bengals, Browns.
You like Aaron Rodgers?
No, I fucking want the Bengals, cocky sons of bitches, Macaulay Culkin, devil-looking motherfucker, to be humble.
You talking about Joe Burrow, or are you talking about the ownership?
Both.
Oh my god. Okay. I didn't know we had a Joe Burrow hater here.
I didn't know.
It's not a hater. It's just like he's so good, but he can't. Like he hasn't exhibited that selflessness to do what it takes to win.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, I totally disagree with that.
Well, I'm talking about, but like what Brady said. Like if Brady comes out and says like he doesn't see it from you, like you should be in there.
Yep.
Trying to figure out how they can
100% talking about Burrow,
networking and stuff to figure out how you can get defense cheaper and get better the other side of the ball, because you can't do it all on your own. You have probably, arguably, next to the Eagles, probably one of the other better wide receiver cores in the league. Upcoming running back, offensive line, not so much. Any of that, like you don't hear Trey Hendrickson saying, like, "Yeah, like Joe called me or Joe hit me up or this, that, and the third." It's just he can't do it. He can't do it all on his own, and he knows that. But I don't know if he
bunch of nonsense.
I also can't. I think that also. I wonder how much of it is because they're strapped because of ownership. Like,
Bengals ownership is trash.
It's trash. So like
absolute trash.
Yeah. So I was shocked by Brady's comments. I never thought that Burrow was that type. He never has come off to me like that. I think he's come off to me as a really confident and good leader for the team. But I mean, Brady's quotes, I'm not going to argue against Brady about stuff. It's not like he's unplugged, you know what I mean? So that is what it is. But that defense is just horrible. I'm not shocked that you had the Bengals third. It's because that defense could be the worst in the league.
They're going to have to score 40 points to win. And here's my thing. Not an Aaron Rodgers love her at all. This person, when it comes down to football and his prime, he's best I've ever seen do it. That's one. Two, Mike Tomlin is a better coach than the dude in Cincinnati.
Yes.
Defense is better.
Water is wet.
Defense is better as well. I actually get a chance. I think Brinks may have said it, or PY may have said it about we just talked about Mike McDaniels not finishing the season as a coach. There's a realistic possibility I can see the Cincinnati Bengals moving on for their coach before anything else.
100%. Yeah, I can see it too. Whether that's a smart decision, because whether he'd be the scapegoat, that's a good conversation to have another day. But yeah, I can see it. I can see them scapegoating Zimmer. So no, not Zimmer.
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. Yeah, sorry. Why? How do you have AFC North?
Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and then the pitiful team in Cleveland.
Yeah, Bengals. Yes.
And they played the line on these games this week is like ridiculous.
Is it really?
There's so many lines where the spread is like less than 3 points. Like I'm like, I can't remember a week one. Or I'm sitting here like I don't know what to do. Yeah, I think because this game is
bet every dog. Dogs
in
week one.
Take the points. Take the points everywhere.
Take the points in week one.
Brings, how do you have it?
I agree with you. I want to pick the Steelers last so bad because I'm sick of them too. Probably even more than the Bills. I'm sick of them going 10-7 or 9-8, and then
it's their year.
Getting beat by 50 points by the 1 or 2 seed when they play.
Mike Tomlin has them very prepared this year. Don't worry about it.
I hear that every year, and I bought in every year, but I'm done with them. They're my third. They're third in the division, but they're not going to be in my playoff.
Yeah, Brings, I 100% hear you on that. It's so frustrating. If I was a Steelers fan, I'd be like not on the level of the Cowboys, but like it's like when is enough enough? Like you guys revel in mediocrity. It's like you want to be mediocre. You know what I mean? Like it's
like what? Like, would you rather be a Jets fan or a Steelers fan? I'd rather be a Jets fan.
I don't know the answer to that.
I'd rather sit in my top with a toaster
and then lose by 50 points.
I hear you on that.
Because TJ Watt will be hurt.
Yeah, I hear that because like it's really frustrating. I really wanted them to go in on a quarterback this draft, and they didn't. And it's just like, what is your plan? Aaron Rodgers is your plan, and I think that's one thing PY will and I will agree on. It's just like if Aaron Rodgers is your plan, that's a bad plan. That's a really, really bad plan.
It's bad and unprepared plan.
Just remember, certain people wanted to trade for Mike Tomlin. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, I like Mike Tomlin, though. But does he have a blind side for the quarterback position? Like, does he have a blind spot for the quarterback position right now? Because I'm sure he has influence with the GM. Probably.
Chucks.
That's true. Yeah.
You can't win without a dynamic offense. Not in today's game. Like,
yeah.
This is the depth chart. The second wide receiver is Calvin Austin.
Yeah.
That's not going to get it done. Sorry.
They traded for DK Metcalf because they want him to be the replacement for George Pickens, which is his role is going to be the X receiver, right? The X receiver who's going to catch fade balls and back shoulder balls from Aaron Rodgers. Right? He likes to isolate, right? So they want DK Metcalf to do that. DK Metcalf, by almost every metric, was one of the worst wide receivers in terms of one-on-one contested catch targets. Really bad, despite his size. He was, I think, like he came down with the least percentage,
which
of
seems possible.
One-on-one. Which it's asinine to really see because of his size, but he doesn't play to his size. He hasn't played that way in years. So you bring him in to play that role when he hasn't really been good in that role. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. So it's frustrating because my brother-in-law is a Steelers fan. I have a close friend that's a Steelers fan. I don't hate the Steelers as an organization, but it's frustrating to see them be content with mediocrity over it.
Right, and this is constantly banging their head against the wall and expecting a different result. And it's like, when are you going to take this serious? You look at, hell, Lamar can win his third MVP. Burrow can win his first MVP. You're realistically a traditional way from being considered as the same as the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
That's the path. That's the path that you're headed in.
Yep, it's really bad. You need a quarterback, and I don't know why they don't see that. So, all right, AFC South. This got interesting real quick with the news a couple weeks ago, but let's continue with it. So, Brinks, let's have you lead it off. Who you got 1-4?
I'm going with Houston still.
Mm-hmm.
Not feeling great about it, but I don't feel great about any of these teams. But I mean, D'Amico Ron is the best quarterback in the division, so they win.
Oh, Stroud. Okay.
I'm rolling with Cam Ward and the Titans.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rolling with Cam Ward and the Titans as second.
A second, yeah, very interesting. Okay.
Last year, so, and then the Jaguars, then the Colts. They're my worst team in the league. I don't know how you feel about it. But
the Colts
are my worst team in the league.
What's funny is I was gonna say this with the AFC North teams, but like if you look at the last place teams we have in the AFC so in each division in the AFC so far, I could see any one of those teams being the worst team in the league. Dolphins, Browns, Colts so far. I could see them being the worst team in the league so far.
I mean, like, first off, the Colts, their owner died. So they don't have leadership at the top, the tippy top.
Right.
And then you picked a guy named Anthony Richardson, third in the draft, and he couldn't even beat out Daniel Jones. Like, whoa. Michael Pittman Jr., like, no thanks. And then to fix everything, you take Tyler Warren. Love Tyler Warren. I think he's going to be a good player in this league, but that starting tight end with all the problems that they have, I don't think that's the recipe for success.
I really like Josh Downs and Jonathan Taylor still, but like, yeah,
for fantasy, I think it'll be a very good team for fantasy purposes. But as far as winning football games, unless Daniel Jones has his Sam Darnold Minnesota Vikings moment this season,
which I don't see happening. Yo, Brinks, you asked me if there's anything that would shock me. That's it. If Daniel Jones is this year's version of Sam Darnold, that would shock me. There you go.
I have Giants fans at my dealership that might cry, so that would be really funny.
I mean, it would be fitting for another Giants cast off to find their footing and their success somewhere else.
PY, how do you have it?
So I got Texans, I got the Titans, or no, yes, Texans, Titans. I got Colts, and then I got Jaguars.
Colts and Jaguars. Okay.
I just don't believe in the Jaguars. I think they're just gonna continue downhill, and I just think Trevor Lawrence is just gonna continuously show everyone why he was a waste of money and generational quarterback my ass.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be that harsh, but okay. Pete.
So, this is tough because I think the Texans defense is legit.
Talk about another unit that could be best in the league.
The loss to Joe Mixon and their running game, don't know if CJ, but I think the defense will be good enough in this division to edge it out.
Mm-hmm.
But my number 2 team, which is going to contradict everything somebody who shares the same name with me just said.
Yeah,
the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
We were just praising Liam Cohen in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Duval.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you think they're not going to do everything in their power to make Travis Hunter an impact on offense after trading up for him? Sadly mistaken. And Trevor's looked good he's looked good in the postseason. He looks good in the preseason. I like the running game. You got Bigsby, you got ETN, and the sleeper is Bishaw Tootin. Paulsboro, local New Jersey kid.
Yes.
The wide receivers, I forget who.
Thomas Jr. and freaking Travis Hunter could be soon could be in talks with best wide receiver duo along with the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, and the division isn't that far fetched, and I like they still got Travion Walker. Defense is still going to be decent. The Texans has the best unit in the division. When you look at this one side, that's why I'm gonna carry them to the division championship. But it would not shock me at all for the Jaguars to win the division.
You're right there. It wouldn't shock me either. Who do you have at 3 and 4?
I mean, Titans, Colts. Colts, Titans, Colts. It does. I mean,
yeah,
I like Cam Ward. I like Calvin Ridley. They just don't have enough. It's growing pains.
They're rebuilding.
It's the reason why you were picking number 1 overall.
Yeah. So I have them third. I have it the same way. Texans, Jaguars, Titans, Colts. To follow through with what you said about the Jags, it's just like Liam Cohen. I believe in Liam Cohen in terms of offensive design, so he's going to make use of those skill position players. Tootin, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Tootin is the lead back for them, and Tootin is explosive as anything. It's just, I think when it comes to certain, I think Pete, you and I follow or we listen to the same analysts, or like a lot of the same analysts. I think that Trevor Lawrence gets overrated by some of them because they still cling to pre-draft priors, which is frustrating because I don't think that Trevor Lawrence has lived up close to what he was supposed to be. I don't think the book is written or has ended on him either. Though.
And that's the one
thing. He's unsalvageable. And I think with Liam Cohen there, if there's a coach that's going to, if there's one of the coaches in the league that's going to get the most out of Trevor Lawrence, Liam Coleman is one of them. He's absolutely one of them. So yep. I think he's going to make his job easier. He's got the weapons. I can see it. I can absolutely see it. I just think that the Texans, too good on defense. I have questions about the running game. Even if Joe Mixon was healthy, you're talking about Joe Mixon, how old he is. I'm like, can you draft a good running back, a good young running back here? Like
they drafted one.
Woody Marks is not like your workhorse. I can't like a lot of fantasy community is hyping up Woody Marks. Woody Marks is like your complimentary. Brett Coleman made a good comparison for Woody Marks. He's like James White. He's going to be your receiver out of the backfield and in space, but he's not someone you want to give 15 carries to a game. He's not the type of back. So
I agree with that.
Yeah. So you have Joe Mixon, who's old. You have Nick Chubb, who's, I hate saying this, but is probably past his prime, not what he was, close to it. And Dameon Pierce, who I liked, but hasn't produced in years since his rookie season. So what is the run game doing? And then their offensive line is a big question mark. But outside of those question marks, I love the receiving core, and I'm a big believer in CJ Stroud. So because of that, I have the Texans at the top winning the division. But yeah, I think it's going to come down between them and the Jaguars. Absolutely. So I'm in agreement with Pete. AFC West, last division that we've got here. Let's go with Pete.
Denver Broncos taking the division.
I was waiting for it. Okay,
it's a spicy take.
And best defensive football last year. I think that chain rolls. Bo Nix, second year under Sean Payton. RJ Harvey.
Harvey Hive.
I mean, Dobbins is there, but it's RJ Harvey. Cortland Sutton is now Marquise Colston. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be the Saints of the West when the Aints had the S on the front. You know what I mean? Where you still didn't like them, but you had to respect them, right? Okay. Nick Bonito on the other side of the ball, Patrick Surtain. I just think it's their time. Bo Nix being that older rookie can kind of handle that. It's what Sean Payton, that quarterback to head coach relationship, defense travels. So I'm going Denver Broncos, okay. Kansas City Chiefs 2. Okay. Kansas City Chiefs 2. Chargers 3rd, and the Raiders. Pete Carroll, I love you, but I mean it's definitely So that would be my order.
Okay. I have. Let's the rest of us give our standings, and then we'll react because I anticipate, and all of our answers are going to be very different from each other. Brinks.
I have Denver as well. I love this team. I have the Chiefs second. I have the Raiders third, and I'm going to have the Chargers fourth.
Third. Okay.
Interesting.
Raiders third. I can see that, to be honest. I wouldn't put it past it. All right, PY.
So I still have Chiefs. Broncos is my second. Chargers and then Raiders.
We all have different answers here.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs first, though. I have the Chargers second.
Interesting.
I have the Broncos third and the Raiders last. All right. So let me because you talked. I know Pete, you talked about the Broncos, so I'll stay on topic with the Broncos. I believe in that defense. I believe in RJ Harvey. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. I believe in those two things for certain. I think RJ Harvey is better than Trayvon Henderson. I will say that right now. Okay, I've had that take. I think Trayvon Henderson is getting underrated.
Too much hype.
I think Trayvon Henderson is getting too much hype. RJ Harvey to me is better than Henderson, but without that hype. And I think that in this system, RJ Harvey is going to absolutely eat. We've seen what Sean Payton does with backs like this when it comes to Darren Sproles and Alvin Kamara. RJ Harvey is that type of talent in my book. So I love RJ Harvey. I love that defense. I think it's going to be a sophomore slump for both Knicks. I don't want to come off as a hater, but there were definitely some things he got away with in his rookie season. And I just think it's going to be much harder for him this year, unless if he takes a massive step in his development as a passer. But I need to see it. I'm like what Brink said at the top of the show with Caleb. I need to see it with Bo Nix. With the Chiefs, I don't have the Chiefs. A little spoiler before we get into playoff predictions. I don't have the Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl. But I think the Chiefs are going to play very angry this regular season, and I think they're going to go back to being a much more aggressive passing offense again and go in on the deep balls again. I think with them having Rashee Rice after the 6-game suspension, and then I think also with them having Hollywood Brown and another year of Xavier Worthy, I think they're going to be much more aggressive. And a healthy Isaiah Pacheco once again is going to be a monster. So I think I respect the Chiefs too much, knowing what they are, to not give them the division still. The Chargers, I would have felt more confident in this pick had what's his name? The offensive lineman.
Slater.
Rashawn Slater. Huge loss. Huge loss.
Him getting hurt made me very iffy with putting them at second. I had them like cemented at second. Them losing him was a big thing, but I will still put them at second. I like what they're building. I think they're going to continue to build off of last year, and part of this is also spite because I think Justin Herbert gets way too much hate. I think Justin Herbert, he has his flaws in the playoffs, but he gets way too much hate, and people think that he's just Justin Herbert. I think people think Justin Herbert is what Trevor Lawrence really is, and I don't think that's. I think Justin Herbert is.
Did I say it again?
I think people think Justin Herbert is what Trevor Lawrence really is. I think like you talk about a quarterback with a bunch of traits that hasn't lived up to hype and is
he's if man.
But that I hate that word because has Justin Herbert had a great head coach before Jim Harbaugh? No, he hasn't. Has he had great weapons before Ladd McConkey got there last year? No, he didn't. So, like, he hasn't had a great situation before last season. And we saw once he got a good head coach, once he got a legit wide receiver one in Ladd McConkey, he had a good year up until the playoffs. So
yeah, he shit the bed. Like all that is like. Here's the thing. Like all that is good until you put him in the opportunity. All right, he doesn't have weapons. All right, that's fair. He's got him now. He didn't have a good head coach. He's got him now. He didn't have a good defense.
Yeah, 1 year.
He's got it now. So what does he do? He shits the bed on an epic proportion.
And that's why I don't have him ranked higher than Jalen Hurts, but I'm not going to be outlandish and say that he doesn't belong in the conversation as a top 10 quarterback. It gets so out of hand. And then the whole I think it's really hypocritical because I know that fans, if Jalen Hurts was in a bad situation and didn't have a good team around him, Eagles fans would be saying the same exact thing as they're saying about Justin Herbert. Like, you can't blame him because he hasn't had great talent, hasn't had great coaching.
So
but
if they don't win the playoffs again,
Justin Herbert hasn't had like ideal situations before last year. They want to just ignore that.
So
again,
if he craps the bed in the playoffs again, are we allowed to critique him, or is he just get another year because of the intangibles?
I don't think Justin Herbert should get a pass for choking in the playoffs, but I'm not going to act like Justin Herbert isn't a top 10 quarterback. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Has he won a playoff game?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't get a pass for his playoff woes, but at the same time, I'm not going to look at it like, okay, when's the first time he had ideal coaching and good supporting cast? Last year. That's the first time.
And so it was the same old in the playoffs.
Actually, and this Chuck is as a talented quarterback, cool. But Trevor Lawrence already got one playoff win, so he's ahead of Justin Herbert in that aspect.
But has Trevor Lawrence had as much regular season success?
He only played that Sam Bradford song.
He's had just as much instability too.
At a high, as consistently high a level as Justin Herbert has. No. If you look at Justin Herbert and you take away what he's been able to do, the Chargers would be a bottom feeder team in the league. Justin Herbert
I agree with that.
A lot of things for that Chargers team.
I agree with that.
That not a lot of quarterbacks are able to do. He has. I'm 100% okay with saying he has to prove himself in the playoffs still. 100% okay with saying that. Hence, why I do not have him ranked ahead of guys like Jalen Hurts and Matthew Stafford. I don't. But are we really going to go out and say, he's I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a top 10 quarterback. I think Trevor Lawrence is more like toward like 15, right? Would we agree with that? Like he's toward like top 15-ish quarterback. People talk about Justin Herbert as if he's on that same level of Trevor Lawrence. I think that's utterly ridiculous. I think Trevor Lawrence I think Justin Herbert has proven himself in terms of what he does for that Chargers team consistently since he got into the league to say, okay, he is comfortably a top 10 quarterback. Comfortably. There should be no conversation or debate about him not being a top 10 quarterback in the league and not being in a similar tier as like Jalen Hurts and Matthew Stafford and CJ Stroud. Like he's in that tier. But like I don't like the disrespect goes way out of hand. Way out of hand.
Well, like I said, like you can go show me. You can go show me in January. That's fine.
In January, and that's fine.
And like, dude, there's certain teams in pro sports that just never get it right.
Yep.
And it's the Chargers. The Chargers are one of them. The Mets.
Yeah, they're
the Toronto Maple Leafs, like the Philadelphia 76ers. Some of these teams just never get it right. And it's the Chargers every year.
To the point to where they can't win one, I would say that. I mean, Phillip Rivers, they've been lucky enough to go
Rivers, Danian Tomlinson, like Antonio Gates, Sean Merriman, like all these guys, and they just got bitched out every single year at home as favorites. Every time. They just never get it right.
They're like the AFC's version of the Lions.
They did number one offense and defense one year. They don't make the playoffs. That's the typical Chargers.
The only thing I would say that I debate with you, Chucks, is you say, and this is not to hijack the whole show, but when you mention Trevor Lawrence, you mentioned Justin Herbert, you mentioned instability. Trevor Lawrence has had the same shit. He has the same stuff. How many coaches has he had? How many coaches has he had? He dealt with Urban Meyer.
No, and I understand that. And I defended Trevor Lawrence during that time. What I'm saying is, even through not ideal circumstances and situations for both of them, who has still been able to play at a high enough level consistently? It hasn't been Lawrence. Herbert has. In the regular season. Herbert has continually played at a high level no matter what his circumstances have been. He has been. The stuff that he does on film on a day.
Some of the throws he makes are otherworldly, bro.
It's otherworldly. That's why I think it's disrespectful to look at him in the same conversation as Trevor Lawrence.
So here's a hot take. And I just thought about this. How far are we away from Joe Burrow being mentioned in the same breath as Justin Herbert? Because if it wasn't for that one fucking season and Joe Burrow did it, look what Joe Burrow's had to work with and throw to versus a Justin Herbert.
Yeah, you can't be. You're not elite if you miss the playoffs 3 straight years. You're not elite. I don't care if it's not a QB stat, wins, whatever.
I don't know
if you're elite. You elevate, and it's not like he has nobodies. He's throwing to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
But the offense has been producing. That's the thing. You want him to play defense too? You want
Joe Burrow don't play corner.
Joe Burrow doesn't play defense. So I would see your point if the offense was struggling. Last year, the offense after the slow start, the slow start was on them. Like that, you can't get off to a slow start with that. But after the first month, they were on fire the rest of the year. What else do you want them to do? What else do you want Joe Burrow to do?
I'm not saying it from that aspect. I'm just saying. So for me, my intention was to bring up the conversation like, where is the national media going to start doing that comparison between Burrow and Herbert? Because of the fact of now, like you said, if he don't make the playoffs again, I love Joe. Macaulay Culkin, love him. Yeah. Great fucking quarterback. But the success isn't there. And you've had tools.
I think that the further
that's going to be the narrative. That's what he's going to go with.
The further he gets, I think it's a fair point. He has in his bag over Herbert. He has that playoff run, and those wins against the Bengals won against the Chiefs a couple of times, and Burrow
twice in Arrowhead.
But Joe Burrow played well. He was a catalyst for those victories, so he has that in his bag. I think if you get several years from now and he doesn't have any playoff success to where he's playing at this type of a level, then yeah, you will enter that Herbert conversation. But the thing is, we've seen Joe Burrow do it. We know Joe Burrow can play in the playoffs. That's the difference.
So we haven't seen that for Herbert yet.
We haven't seen that for Herbert. So they're in a different tier from each other. So until one or the other can happen, they're always going to be separated.
I think Burrow is going to be on that same path until they get a defensive coach. Because I don't ever think with that type of talent that you have on the offensive side of the ball, when you're going to pay that type of talent, you either have to draft really well, but even if you draft well, you have to develop. That's why the Eagles are in the position that they're in. This is why they can go all in on the offense. Howie just woke up and came to his senses or finally figured it out. And it's not just the players, it's the coaches and the development within the system. Yep. Cincinnati hasn't found that yet, and I don't think they're going to find that under Taylor. I think they have to find that under a defensive-minded coach because the offensive dude can come in and say, listen, all right, Joe, you got this, T, you got Jamar, Chase Brown. We'll figure it the fuck out. Like, if it means us instead of scoring 28, 29, 30 points a game, and we can score 26, but we only now giving up 21 or 23, completely different story because you're not going to have the talent on the defensive side of the ball or not and spend the resources on the defensive side of the ball that you're going to do in the offense. So what has to get better then? Scheme and design has to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember the year they went to the Super Bowl, their defense was good.
Yeah, Lou Anarumo, but they had hidden gems. What was the dude that's what's the safety name that's now in Atlanta?
Bates. Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
They couldn't pay all these guys because they knew they were going to have to pay these offensive pieces, and that's the route that they went. Maybe they should have jumbled it up a little more. I'm not going to debate that right now, but all I can say about we're debating Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. I've seen it. I feel like I know what I'm going to get. So I went on a prediction show like this. I'd rather put my eggs in the Bo Nix basket. In the I don't know who else did I pick? Like the Drake May basket.
And that's the other key thing. They made Bo Nix's life easier because they went and got Evan Ingram. You know what Sean Payton does with tight ends.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. My only rebuttal to that is a lot of people said they already knew what Matt Stafford was until he went to the Rams. situation matters, guys. Like I've always been a Matt Stafford believer. Like when he was with the Lions and they weren't winning anything, people said that Matthew Stafford wasn't it. He would choked all the time and wasn't a great quarterback. I said, what help does he have? Like outside, he had Calvin Johnson but what running backs did he have at the time? Like he didn't have a defense. Like what help in terms of the whole team did you really have? You went to the Rams, won a Super Bowl. Situation matters.
That's a drastic change. For Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
the two guys we're talking about right now are in the same situation they've been in. So, why would I expect anything different? But
with Herbert, he's only into his second season with Jim Harbaugh. That's my point. And in the first season, they made the playoffs. Like, what? How many teams can you say that about where a brand new head coach and their quarterback and the team make the playoffs? I think that
every time the Eagles change the head coach,
every year. The Eagles do it. The Eagles do it all the time, but we're an exception. But when
he's gonna do it again this year. It's gonna be shocking.
Think the way that the Chargers lost in that playoff game to the Texans clouded the successful season that they had. Yeah. And if it weren't for the way they lost, I think people should be and would be acknowledging more like, oh wow, Justin Herbert and the Chargers actually had a really good season. But because
did they though, Chucks? If I have a supposed lock top 10 quarterback, like you said, and I'm out the wild card round every week,
but he did not. In his defense, he said Herbert's not top 10. He doesn't consider Herbert top 10 right now. He did say that.
A lot of people do though.
Yeah.
But no, I consider Herbert
the same way that they lost, right?
Discussions.
I consider Herbert top 10. I think Herbert is a top 10 quarterback.
Talent, yes.
I think
he has to put it all together. But honestly, to take the conversation to get to the playoff seeding, we're talking about this on like a junior associate level with Herbert, right? And then kind of on a mid associate level with Burrow. At the executive associate level, if Lamar don't get fucking to the Super Bowl this year, you can say the same shit about him.
Let's talk about. So let's do these seedings. That's a good segue. All right, because let's do these seedings. So I'll just go down the line. My playoff seeding is Bills, Ravens, Chiefs. Yes, I have the Bills winning the top seed, Ravens, Chiefs. I also kind of just jumbled it up together, so I wasn't sure. Texans, Bengals. I have Texans, Bengals. Then I think I have Chargers and Broncos. So I have, again, 3 AFC West teams. Chargers and Broncos. I do have the Broncos making the playoffs. Pete.
Ravens, Broncos, Bills.
Okay.
Texans.
Okay.
Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots.
I like it. Last seed.
Steelers.
You have the Steelers. Oh my God. Well,
you have the Steelers getting boat raced by the Broncos this season.
I mean, Mike Tomlin's purgatory, bro. This is where the Steelers live.
That is true. They're
gonna sneak in.
Yep. PY 1-7.
All right. So I got Chiefs, Bills, Ravens,
and Texans.
Broncos, Chargers, and then Bengals.
Did we have this? Yeah, we had the same wildcard team, just different order. Cool. All right. And then Brinks.
So I have the Ravens. I have Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I have New England.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Houston.
We all have the Texans at 4th seed.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And then wildcard.
Like I said, don't feel good about it at all. If it's the Jaguars or one of those other teams surprises me, whatever. It's a one-bid league, and I have the Texans.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Bengals 5th.
Right.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs 6.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, Bengals, Chiefs,
Just
Bills.
Bills. Give me the Bills. Yeah,
Okay,
give me the Bills. Josh Allen's not missing the playoffs, even though I'm sick of the Bills.
All right, cool. All right, so we have our playoff seedings. Pete, good segue. How much is there a quarterback in this league right now that has more pressure to get to the Super Bowl than Lamar Jackson?
Josh Allen's a very close second. Very close second.
Very close second.
But because Lamar's been so close on his home turf, you have to go Lamar.
And I'll say this, and I'll also add to this, because Josh Allen has actually played very well in the playoffs despite the losses. PY, he actually does pretty very well. Lamar has more pressure because he has. How is he choked if he's played well? It doesn't make sense. Lamar has more pressure on him because he has to play well. This past year, the last playoffs was the first time Lamar has played well in the postseason, and he didn't play great, but he played well. But he has to play better. So because of that, I say he has even more pressure on him to make it, to lead his team. But Brinks and Pue, what do you say? You think it's Lamar has the most pressure?
Yeah, it's definitely Lamar. Not even close. Josh Allen is second, but it's not even close.
I think it's Josh.
Of course, you hate Josh.
I don't hate Josh. I
think Josh Allen chokes in the playoffs when he's actually
choking the playoffs.
I showed you the stats.
So Josh Allen chokes in the playoffs. What does Lamar Jackson do?
Oh, Lamar chokes just as bad.
If Josh is choking, Lamar's gagging. Like literally.
Yeah, I don't know. I showed you his playoff stats. I showed you what he like, and to even fathom that Josh Allen chokes in the playoffs it's asinine. It is so ridiculous to say that he chokes in the playoffs despite playing very well.
I think the difference between Josh, I'm gonna put these three together. The difference between Josh, Jalen, and Lamar is Jalen's purpose is bigger than just that one game. And I feel like Josh and Lamar or anybody else who plays Patrick Mahomes, they get like to where it's almost like this one-on-one duel. You know what I mean? And you can just kind of, and it's so unfortunate because we saw in the AFC Championship game last year, like just dumb shit, like just looking at like almost like ghosts, like there's things that aren't there. Like you just putting this extra pressure. Like I don't say the moment gets too big because Mahomes generally doesn't outplay these guys in these games. He just doesn't.
He just waits for them to make their obvious mistake.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't make the mistakes. That's a big thing. I think that's a big thing for playoff football. Is like, I think making a mistake is more detrimental than playing what brings it playing hero ball, right? And playing hero ball, like it's what Josh Allen is asked to do by the Bills is. It's insane because he has to be the one to step up, but it's more detrimental when they make a mistake, and that's what we've seen in Lamar. And even Lamar, like in that loss to, was it the Bills, where the Ravens lost to the Bills, or who did they lose to?
Yes.
Yeah, they lost because Mark Andrews dropped the ball.
Yeah, because lost. Like
I guess that's
Lamar
had
Lamar had a bad first half, but he rebounded. But like when you set yourself up like that, like. You have to play nearly perfect the rest of the way. And even that, Mark Andrews had he had actually two really bad drops. He had the first one actually resulted, maybe not a drop, but I think it was a catch and fumble that turned into points for the Bills. And then he had that drop in the that should have been the 2-point conversion. So like even for Lamar, like even though he bounced back and played incredible the second half, it still wasn't enough because the supporting cast didn't pull through on their end. So, yeah, there's so much pressure. I think that how many more years do we have of prime Lamar for him to be able to say like, hey, I need to get this done? I don't know how many more. We'll see. Because a big part of his game is his athleticism. How much more of that elite athleticism and playmaking ability does he have left? I don't know. So Yeah, I hope he does get it done at some point. I think that after the Eagles, I don't know if for me if there's another like quarterback I'm rooting for more than Lamar. I really want Lamar to pull it out if the Eagles obviously don't win it. But yeah,
I want Lamar to be postseason Lamar, the same dude he is in the regular season.
The regular season, yeah, because he's insanely good in the regular season.
Yep.
Insanely good. He should have won MVP last year.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The NFL Top 100 will tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, I think Saquon Barkley should have won MVP last
year. I stand corrected. Saquon should have won MVP, but if we're talking about quarterbacks, which is what it's been now, it's been a quarterback award. It should have been Lamar over Josh Allen, in my opinion. But that's what it is. Let's do our Super Bowl predictions. We will skip awards because we're running short on time. Let's skip awards. Let's go to Super Bowl predictions. All right, Brinks. Let's start with you.
Eagles repeat over the Ravens. I think Lamar. And the Ravens defense is silly.
Yeah, it's silly.
And then they found another one in Mike Green that can be.
Yep. I'm looking at Malachi Starks playing with
Starks and Nate Wiggins, and they bring in Jair Alexander, and they have another corner that I'm forgetting, like
Marlon Humphrey.
Marlon Humphrey, thank you, Bama guy.
They still got Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah,
and Kyle Hamilton just got himself paid. He's an All-Pro. Like this defense is just
it's
scary good.
It's ridiculous. PY Super Bowl matchup.
It's one for the history books. The only time in history.
Don't you say it?
Chiefs versus Eagles 3, boys.
And then who wins?
Eagles.
I know. I wouldn't mind that matchup, but
it's real rivalry in the NFL.
Oh my God, Pete.
Bring up where my photo. 1 second. I gotta look at my playoff seeding again.
Do it. Pick Denver. Do it.
Can you imagine?
I wanted to, but I chickened out. So you got to do it now.
I think the AFC Championship. The AFC Championship game is Broncos Texans.
I would like to. I'd like to beat Sean Payton's ass in the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go Eagles versus Texans.
Woo! Eagles defeat Texans.
Because I just think that the defense of Houston in the AFC Championship game, it'll be. I don't know. I like CJ in that moment more than I like Bo Nix.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about I want to say about CJ. He had a tough year last year.
Mm-hmm.
That O-line didn't do him any favors, but he definitely I'm not gonna say regressed, but he didn't take that next step during the regular season. But man, in the playoffs, he balled out in the playoffs. And I think that was as much as we focused on Herbert and how he choked in that game. I personally took more. What I took more out of in that game was CJ Stroud and how he performed and how he played. He proved to me okay, this is a big game quarterback. He has it in him to really come up in the clutch and play on big stage when they need him to. So despite him not taking that next step last year, I felt confident in him because of how he ended the year. Even though they lost to the Chiefs in the next round, I mean, I don't think anyone really expected them to beat the Chiefs anyways. But man, Stroud played so well in the playoffs, so that's very encouraging. I'm gonna agree with Brinks. Eagles defeat the Ravens. I want an Eagles-Ravens Super Bowl really bad.
That'd be in the good old words of Jim Ross, that'd be a slobber knocker, boys.
That would be great.
That would be, as I would be as an Eagles fan, I would be nervous as hell because I know what the Ravens team is and I know how great Lamar is. But as a football fan, oh my God, that would be such an amazing matchup. Amazing matchup. Love it. Any last takes, boys? Get any hot takes we didn't really, or bold predictions. Players you want to gas up and hype up.
Mike McDonald, Coach of the Year. Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep. Agree with that.
Lamar MVP. I think that may be a consensus.
I
actually have Burrow as MVP too.
And then I think Saquon goes back to back with offensive rookie.
That would be amazing. That would be fantastic.
Yes, I have that too. I know all logic and history points to Saquon having a down year based on history and all that. I'm choosing to believe that Saquon is an exception, just like Derrick Henry. I think Saquon is going to have another fantastic year, and you can't tell me otherwise because I love Saquon. I love Saquon.
We know.
Yeah.
I'm the only award I'm going to gas up is I'm taking Malik Neighbors for Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's a freak. I think he's going to get 1 million targets.
He's really good.
I think we're talking about Malik Neighbors, and around week 8, week 10, he's going to be on that tier with Chase and Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb and
I can see that. Yeah.
I think the only thing they messed up is not signing Saquon back. Like I
said, we talk about our defensive line. Jesus.
There's a lot of bad offensive lines, though, Pete. There's teams that have bad offensive lines that we picked in the playoffs. You picked a team to win the AFC that has a horrowous offensive line. So
it's
like the bullpen in baseball. Like everyone thinks this is the worst until the next team rolls through. Wow, okay, at least we're not these guys.
Greg, to piggyback off of your Giants thing, so I'll just get off a bunch of running back takes off my chest for as we head into the season, just because I feel like I have to. Everyone's hyping up Cam Scatterbo for the Giants. I think that is premature. I think Tyrone Tracy is not going anywhere. So I think, if anything, that's a 50-50 timeshare. I think people are forgetting about Tyrone Tracy. I already talked about Bijan. I think he's going to be that next guy. I think K9, if he stays healthy, could be right there. I mean, we could be talking about Saquon, Bijan, and K9 as the top 3 scrimmage yards guys in the league this year. Elite, absolutely elite. Who else? I talked about RJ Harvey already. He's gonna
Omari Hampton.
I think it depends. I think it depends on Najee. I think that if Najee's healthy enough to play, they're going to split. But I think they're going to want to run the ball a good amount. So Hampton's going to get his, and Hampton is legit. And Hampton is absolutely legit. I think that who else? Caleb Johnson. I think we need to pump the brakes on. I don't think he's going to be the workhorse for the Steelers because he's horrible in passing downs. So I think Jalen Warren is not going anywhere. He's going to keep his role as that passing down back because he can block, he can catch. Caleb just can't do that. So I think if fantasy owners, if you haven't had your draft yet, Jalen Warren is good. Finally healthy again. Who else? With the Ravens, speaking about the Ravens, I really think that your boy Pete, what's his name now? Keaton Mitchell. I think Keaton Mitchell healthy again. RB2 behind Henry. He has to be RB2 behind Henry. No disrespect to Justice Hill. Keaton Mitchell is better. Keaton Mitchell is absolutely deadly, lethal.
I think if he stays on track, Derrick Henry's not on it. Even though his contract runs out, I don't even think Derrick Henry's an afterthought next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yes.
And I think Travis Hunter's OROY for the year.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Sean Tucker should surpass Rachaad White as the backup running back.
He fell from grace fast.
Who? Rachaad White?
Yes.
I called it. Rachaad White was never that good. He was just an athletic receiver. He was never that good. So I've been pounding the table for Sean Tucker to surpass him, and I think this is the year. They've been gassing up Sean Tucker so much. So I think this is the year he's the backup to Bucky. I was trying to think anything else running back wise. I think that's it. I think that's all I got off the top of my head, at least.
No season awards from UPY before we get out of here.
I said Burrow is MVP. Micah's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Coach of the Year?
I actually have Vrabel.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I really like Jared Verse as Defensive Player of the Year.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Oh,
great sack celebration too.
Not a award prediction, but one of the heavy breakouts I have on the defensive side. I think Deion Henley for the Chargers is going to be a household name by the end of the year. I think it's going to be second like team All Pro type of like year.
Okay.
I think
there is a new award this year.
What is that?
Offensive lineman.
The best offensive lineman award.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a fancy name for it or anything.
I think Lane made this win that by default because they should have been fucking voting that for years.
Lane Johnson should have won it for the past 10 years, so he should just get it this year.
I will say this before we leave. I believe we talked about the Raiders. If the season goes as it goes, I will say, Howie, do anything you need to do. Go trade for Michael Mayer.
I don't know if they're going to get rid of him. That's the thing. I don't know if they're going to get rid of him. I agree with you. I want either Michael. I would love either Michael Mayer or Darnell Washington. I don't think each of their respective teams are getting rid of him for some reason. And I think
now that Brock is there, do they have him in blocking packages?
Yeah, more in line. Yeah, but like, here's the thing. Like, I think that the Raiders are one of the teams that really are going to stick with running because they can and will 12 personnel. Because remember, Chip Kelly is there. Chip Kelly is really good at designing run schemes. I don't know why it's on my mind. Despite the Raiders probably not being that great of a team, I think Genty is going to have.
Yeah,
he is it. He's it. And this might be a bold take. By the end of the year, if I were to rank running backs, I think it's going to be Saquon 1, Bijan 2, and Genty 3 over Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Genty
drugged that Boise State, that trash Boise State team to the playoffs last year.
Yeah, insane.
He's unbelievable.
Genty is insane. He's insane. So
it's a topic for another day. But if you can explain to me how Ashton Genty doesn't have a Heisman Trophy to his name, I'd love to listen.
I'm the wrong person. I'm not the person.
Robbery. The man got robbed.
Yeah, I'm not the person to ask that, but that's a good one. Anything else, guys? Last call. PY?
That's it.
Good. All right, gentlemen. This went better than I expected. This really went better than I expected. We went longer than expected a little bit. So we couldn't do all the awards, but great conversations, great arguments. PY, you always come through with an argument with me. I love you for that. So, I appreciate PY brings you guys coming on to Film Don't Lie. We'll have you on again at some point, definitely, because I think it's fun to have these conversations. And we've got a long season ahead of us. Pete, we are back with Film Don't Lie, and each week, if you didn't tune into us, if you're still listening to us right now, I appreciate you. But if you haven't listened to us from our previous episodes when we started back in January, each week we will be doing film breakdowns and providing film breakdowns of different plays throughout the NFL. We cover the NFL, not just the Eagles. So if you're a fan of an outside team, not an Eagles fan, you're looking for a national show to follow on A2D Radio that covers the NFL, we are your show to follow. So appreciate you guys for all of us, the rest of us at A2D, our sponsors, Alonji Travel. Remember, if you need a vacation, hit me up. I'm your guy. For myself, Pete, Brinks, and PY. Football's back. Let's go. Enjoy
Birds.
The kickoff game on Thursday night. Go Birds. Dallas sucks. Enjoy week 1, fellas.
Peace.